Happy Wednesday as I'm recording this. October 28th. October. Man, I am rushing it. August 28th. Um, I want the fall to get here. That's what the thing is. So we're continuing with this series. And this is 13, day 13. And we have 2 more days this week. So come join us and binge watch the others. It's going to be a 90-day series. It's really a very cool book that we're going through, and day by day, okay? It's a 90-day series, and this is in the book Unstuck by Kimberly Jones, and you can get it on Amazon. It's available hardcover. It's a new book, hardcover, let's see, Kindle and Audible. Okay. And I don't usually buy all three versions, but I did in this case because I really want to listen to the Audible version as well. Okay. And I use the Kindle. Sometimes I forget to bring the book when I'm doing videos, and I need to look at the Kindle for reference, so I have it right on my phone, which is cool. So I'm glad you're here with me today. I'm going to read this verse in 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. I'll read it quickly. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. So, that was in a letter to the Corinthians that Paul wrote. The Apostle Paul had a different life before he came to know Jesus totally. He was a murderer of Christians. He was a high priest in the Sanhedrin. Brilliant, smart man, very learned. And on his way, chasing Christians on a horse, headed on the road to Damascus, he had a life-changing event. The Lord literally knocked him off his horse and confronted him and said, Saul, Saul, why dost thou persecute me? He had a life-changing moment and came to know Jesus as his Savior that day. Everything changed. He was blinded for days. Christians found him, had mercy on him, the one who was murdering their people, and took him into a house. And other Christians, they were afraid of him. So he had a life-changing event because he discovered that Jesus loved him and adored him that day. He didn't know that. It was a pretty amazing event for him. What happened after that? He was given a new name of Paul, and he led his remaining years in service to others and starting churches in Corinth, in Philippi, along with Timothy as his person that he traveled with for a time. And so what does God have, in the works for you regarding the field you're looking at, or a career you're looking at, or maybe you're looking at a ministry to others, a service to others? And I look at the paralegal field as, yes, I'm serving the attorney, but I'm also serving the staff. I never put myself above the staff, although the staff can think that. I do what I can to rip that away and take that away, because we need each other in the workplace. And that whole thing about I am paralegal, and I've risen here, it's about service to others. So no, we're not attorneys. We're not licensed to do that. So the attorneys are licensed in the practice of law. But we, the paralegals or legal secretaries, legal receptionists, everybody plays a part and is important in that part. Now, right now, you may be at the, on that precipice, on that where you have to, I'll say, it's like a cliff where you have to jump in order, or a step, you have to jump up to that step to get to where you need to go, correct? And so what's happening with that? That's what I'm talking to you about today. What is happening with that? Where are you in that journey? In order to get to that next step for you, you've got to make a decision that you're not going to listen to naysayers. You're not going to listen to people who don't get what you're trying to do or where you're being led. What is God leading you to? He's giving you specific giftings, and you might never have heard that before. He has a plan and a purpose for your life, number 2. As soon as you start stepping into that, you will have people coming against you. So don't be surprised by that, or a barrier may appear. One of the most common barriers is, well, Leslie, I did everything I'm supposed to do and I can't get work. And I hear people online, I'm in these groups and they're saying, I can't get a job. This is crazy. No one will hire me. And it makes you feel depressed. But you can't listen to people who are saying that, because I'm going to tell you the truth. They're deficient in some of their knowledge and their legal knowledge in how to help the attorney, and they're deficient in how to apply for that job. Their cover letter stinks. How's that for an honest statement? Their cover letter says nothing, but I want to set up an appointment to meet you, and here's my resume. I used to use my cover letter just as an intro to my resume, and I thought that was okay. For probably, I would say I did that. Well, in Oklahoma, I had worked in the legal field for approximately 5 years, and I had 3 jobs during that time, 3 different jobs, and 2 paralegal jobs. The first one was not a paralegal job, but it was a major foot in the door. And so and it wasn't until I moved to Florida that I had trouble getting hired, that I started realizing I'm deficient in what I'm saying in my cover letter. And that's part of what I teach. There's a separate class in there called Cover Letter Secrets. And that's everything, and that's about 6 videos in there. And it gives samples of a simple cover letter and a detailed cover letter. And so that's in my Beginner Paralegal Growth Accelerator course. That's not open until mid-September, okay? So if you're entry level, I would suggest you go take that course. It will be a membership as soon as it opens, okay? If you don't make a decision to start moving forward and up your game with your cover letter and some of your practical knowledge and understanding how do you impress the attorney before you have any experience, how do you impress the attorney? Is that even possible? Oh, yes. That's what I had to learn, and that's what, as part of what I share. So you can remain stagnant and stuck, hence the name of this book, Unstuck. That was the whole purpose of me going on teaching on YouTube and videos. They're pushing 900 and 20 something videos here. That's the reason for all these videos, is to get you unstuck, to help you make a decision. Is the legal field for you or not? So That's why I do what I do. You have to make a decision. You're on that road, and what decision are you going to make? Or are you going to stay planted there in that indecision? When you're working for an attorney, you can't be indecisive. You've got to help that attorney. You know, this is a really good practice, because when you get unstuck, nothing will stop you. Nothing. You won't let family members keep you stuck, your significant other. You won't let what people say keep you stuck, because you're realizing, oh, Jeremiah 29:11 says that God has a plan and a purpose for me. When I discovered that, it no longer mattered what my spouse said about my giftings or anything like that. I no longer relied on that. I relied on what the Lord was saying my value and my worthiness was. No more reliance on family members or girlfriends or, um, anybody in my life or bosses, including when I went into the legal field. Nobody could say that, oh, I had the first paralegal, well, in my first job, the paralegal there said it'll take you 10 years to become a paralegal. I landed my first paralegal position in 7 months. After that first position, I applied, for that paralegal job. I was hired, and then I was literally flying by the seat of my pants to learn as much as I could. And there was no internet at that point. So there were no books to help you. So I had to look at what happened in other cases in order to know what I was doing, because this area of law was so new to me. And I had done a lot of good work in the first law firm preparing for trial, but this was a different area of law, and I had to learn very quickly. So don't let anything or anybody stop you. You stop you. We can be our biggest enemy in staying stuck. Why are you stopping? And don't use the excuse, well, they're only hiring people with experience. Every single person going into the legal field, 99.9% go in with zero experience. So there's something wrong with what you're doing. I had to face that myself. And here's what's happening while you're going on this journey. If you have children, they're watching you. Your family's watching you. Your friends are watching you. When they see you succeed, some will be happy, some won't be happy. That's their issue, not yours. You just keep moving forward. We won't focus, and we will use, oh, I don't have time. I just don't have time to go search something on Google. My kids need me to help with their homework. You have to allocate, I don't care how you do it, but you've got to allocate 30 minutes for yourself in a day to 45 minutes to where you can, I don't care if it's in 15-minute segments, where you can learn some things and learn how to do some additional things. You have to spend that time on yourself. When I tell you to go look up paralegal regulations, my question to you is, for your state, on Google, paralegal regulations for the state of whatever it is, South Carolina. What state are you in? And go read those regulations. What does it say? What are the requirements in order to get into this field? Do you have to have a 2-year degree? Do you have to have a certificate? Or can you just have a high school diploma? You go into school or getting a certificate. If the state says you can just have a high school diploma and get in, remember, yes, you can still go to school and you can still get a certificate. Nobody's stopping you from that. But I don't want anybody excluded if you can't afford that. And I was in that boat. So when people are jealous of your journey, respond with love. Just say, well, this is my journey. This is not anybody else's. Okay? So I have to follow the path that God has for me. Read Jeremiah. Look it up on Google. Jeremiah 29:11. Look up that verse on Google. There are different versions of the Bible regarding the type of English that it is, but you can look up the New Living Translation or NIV, and there'll be like regular, simpler English than the King James Version, because that's very formal, Old English, okay? So Jeremiah 29:11, I want you to read that verse. Don't let anybody steal, or anything steal, your being propelled into this field or being led to this field. There's a plan and a purpose in the works. There is a plan in the works for you, okay? So, and when people get jealous like this of the journey, or they're into gossip and they're into they're naysayers. This is why when I actually went on interviews in the very beginning, I kept it quiet. Because I wasn't when I went to an employment agency, and the lady said she couldn't place me, I knew that wasn't true. In my gut, in my spirit, I knew it wasn't true. How did I know it wasn't true? The Lord was telling me, keep going. I have something in store for you. I didn't know what that was. So it was important for me to keep going and not give up. But I had to not share every moment with my spouse, because I wasn't getting you can do this, okay? And that's what I needed. It was, well, maybe, maybe you should just not work for a while. I said, that was not going to be an option for me. My kids were getting older. They were already young teenagers. And so it would only be 3 years later that my oldest would be going away to college in Florida, and we were living in Oklahoma. So I felt that my salary actually was paying for her out-of-state tuition. In fact, my salary didn't pay for all of it. It was really expensive until we moved to Florida, and after a year had residency there, and then she was able to get in-state tuition. So but it was crazy expensive. So my salary was important to the family to help pay for her college education at Florida State for the first 2 years. And that was my goal, that wherever my kids wanted to go to school, I could help pay for that. So make a decision today that even though they're naysaying, and even though you're not getting the support, I still loved my spouse. He just was not giving me that, and I had to understand that in spite of not getting the support, I didn't tell anybody in the family, but I had 2 aunties that were in the legal field at that point. And I never even thought to call them and talk to them about it. I just thought, I'm going for it. And so I want you to have that that can do, if the Lord wants me in this field, he's going to open the doors. And that's the case. Where does he want you? When you go on interviews, pray beforehand and ask him to show you, is this the place for me? Give me the words to say, Lord. Go with questions to ask, not about you can ask if there's an office manager, you can ask the office manager about benefits. But when you interview with an attorney, you're not asking the attorney those types of questions. They probably don't even know the answers to that, okay? So, and this is part of what I teach in my membership, is what are the questions I should be asking in the interview, where it shows you have intelligence. Okay, so and it will help you when you see those questions. So have a wonderful day today. I'm going to go over to the Facebook page, and we're going to go live there, and I'm going to go live on Instagram, and both those places are Paralegal Coffee Talk. But I want you to go to the website, to the free hub. There's a tab there, and it's called Paralegal Resource Hub. And I want you to click on that link in there and go become part of that. It's free. There are videos there you should watch that are not published anywhere else. So go there and check that out. And then what else can I tell you? Stay tuned for announcements, more than likely next week, but of course the membership won't be open next week. It's mid-September. And what else can I tell you? I would say, oh, I know. When you're on the website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com, look under, I always say this in the videos, but look under every single tab and look at the Legal Break-In book. That book is only for people who are looking at the career for the first time. That's to give you an insider's view, okay? And you can, on the my website, under that tab, you'll see the table of contents. Okay, it's not for the person in the field. And then if you already have that book and you felt that it helped you, I would appreciate a review. And would I love a 5-star review? Yes, I would, because then Amazon shows that book to others who are looking at the field for the first time, and it helps more people become aware of what the behind the scenes look is in that field. I give you a day in the life section, which is worth getting that book just for that, of what the daily routine is for specific types of paralegals. There are hundreds of areas of law you can work in. I mean, you know, they're available to you, and they're all different. And so a person working in personal injury is not experiencing the same thing as a person working in consumer bankruptcy or business law. It's different. So when you're interviewing, it's important to realize this. Like, what area of law does that attorney work in? So all of that is, if it's new to you, it's like, oh man, that's a lot to take in. That's why I put that book out there, so that's your first step as a person looking at this field. Is it for you or not? When you read what is a day in the life like, are you interested in doing that? Because a paralegal is not an attorney. You're not going to stand around talking about the finer points of Rule 23 necessarily in the rules of civil procedure. You're just not, you know, that sometimes the view we have of what we do every day is not reality. So that's why I put that in the book. Okay, so have a great day today. I'm going to go over to the Paralegal Coffee Talk Facebook page, and then over to Instagram, and over to TikTok, where I am also, and that's under my name, Leslie Sansone Williams. So if you're on TikTok, come and see me over there, and I will talk to you in tomorrow's video, where it's going to be entitled Quit Quitting. Very important regarding this particular field that you're looking at going into. Okay, have a great day, and I'll talk to you in tomorrow's video. Take care.